Okay. Monitor application performance with Azure load testing. Now we have seen CI, we have seen CD. Question arises how you can perform or how you can monitor your application, or like application monitoring, log monitoring, how you can perform all those things. Because for the smooth functioning of your website or anything what you have developed, you need to monitor it. You need to implement logging, right? So for that purpose, we have some resources in Azure. Okay. So if we talk about resources in Azure for performance monitoring, one way is Azure load testing. So there is a resource which is known as Azure load testing, and that Azure load testing digs, or you can say drills down the application, and it tracks out the performance of the application. Now, what kind of performance can be tracked? Uh, Request rate, response rate, then CPU consumption, CPU utilization. What is the CPU utilization for this application? Okay. All these things, all these things, you can track down. Okay. You can monitor down on your application, and accordingly, you can ask the developers or anyone who is the concerned person that we need to improve the performance of application. Suppose some websites you might have seen, you go to the website and it take around 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds to load. Okay. So this is delayed response. Website should be loaded within milliseconds. Okay. Let's go to the project. Okay. So first we'll go to the Azure portal. We'll try to create a resource. Okay. We'll open the Cloud Shell here. Resource group name is the 400 module 08 lab 14 hyphen RG. So this is the resource group name of. It is not taking the variable location. Easy group create hyphen name dollar resource group name hyphen location dollar. Okay, resource group is created. Then service plan name. So dollar service plan name equal easy 400 lab 14 hyphen service plan. Easy app service plan create hyphen resource hyphen group. Please mention the resource group here. So dollar resource group name, then hyphen name. So name of the service plan, dollar service plan name, and then hyphen SKU. Storage keeping unit, suppose B3, B1, B2, B3, whatever. Base plans. Okay. S means standard plan. P means premium plan. Service plan created. Now we'll be creating a web app here. So let's take a web app name, dollar web app name. AZ400 e-shop on web, dollar random. Somewhere random variable will be added. Okay, dollar random, dollar random. If you do not want to go and check in the portal whether the name is available or not, then you can do something like this. You can take one particular name and then attach some variable to it, some random variable. So it will add the random numbers or characters over there after your name. Now, easy web app create. Easy web app create hyphen resource hyphen group dollar resource group name hyphen plan service plan name, and then web app name. Web app name. This will create a web app. Okay, so this random is generating some different variable over here. So it is not taking the name. Instead, I'll take it something like in the web app name, instead of random, I'll take mm, AZDev LT. That is load testing. Something like this. I'll take it. So it will create a web app inside the app service plan. So we have our resource now will be creating the pipeline, CI/CD pipeline basically. Web app is created. We can close this. We'll go to the pipeline here. We'll create a new pipeline. So this time let's take a starter pipeline. Okay. This is a starter pipeline here. Starter means just a script is given. Oh, that. So what we'll do, we'll just remove all these things. Trigger, I'll comment down. Instead of starter pipeline, I'll write anything you can give, all pipeline for CI/CD like this. You can remove this all. Remove this. Now start adding the resources here. So I need to add the resource. Very first thing, like question is asked, how do you build a CI pipeline or CI/CD pipeline? The very first thing is to set up the resources. How you will set up the resources? Like resources. Type R, you will get the string. Okay, resources. Under resources, where are our resources? So our resources are inside the repositories. So now what? Repositories. In the repository, which repository? Which repository? So We are talking about native to Azure DevOps, that is Azure repos. So I'll write self. Suppose there is any other repository, you have to mention the URL. Okay, GitHub or anything. After this, trigger. Trigger. So,
Uh, I
mhm.
have a question here. Like, when you mention the repository as itself, it will take any Azure repository, or it will take any Azure in resource.
I come again.
Like the resource group, you mentioned the repository, and repository is self, right? So it means self means it will take any Azure resource, right?
Azure resource? No, no. This resource does not mean the Azure resource. Resources means from where you are building the code. For where from where you are building your application. So those resources. So those
Okay.
resources mean the code I'm talking about,
Okay.
not the Azure resources.
Uh, here means Azure repo, right? Like,
In the pipeline, resources means your source code.
okay, okay,
Okay. So whenever we are starting any CI pipeline and whenever resources comes, that means we are talking about or anyone is talking about the source code. It's they are not talking about the Azure resources. Okay. Remember, in the pipeline. Whenever you are in other stages like deploy stage, their resources means Azure resources. Okay. But when you are starting a CI pipeline, then the resources means the code. Got it?
yeah, got it.
Okay. Now we'll go to the stages here. Okay. So we don't have a trigger. I'll go to the stages. Stages. Let me remove this all. Otherwise, it will. Hmm. Now I'm fine. So now I want stages. So stages. In these stages, I want the stage. So which stage? Build stage. Want to perform a build. Uh, in the stage, I want the pages, stage, build, display name. Display name of the stage. So let's take the display name as let's take the display name as build.NET Core Solution. Then come down after this stage, we have jobs. So as soon as you type jobs, jobs will come. Which job? So again, which job? Build a job. After the job, we will mention pool. So suppose I will be using Azure pipelines for Azure agent. So in the pool, I'll provide the VM image.
I have a question regarding the
Mhm.
job. Like
Mhm.
after job section, we will tell the pipeline to build the job, right? Instead of
Right.
that,
Mhm.
if we have a template in the like what we need to build or what we're supposed to do the job, we can mention the templates also, right? In
Right, right.
the job section.
Yeah, you can take the template as well. Like from whenever you are starting a CI pipeline, suppose you want to perform an AKS deployment, Kubernetes service, you can use that template. So
Okay.
that template will help you get all those tasks which are basic or the default task. Rest of the task you can add by yourself. So you will get an overview. Okay, these are the default tasks which are required while deploying into an AKS. So like that you can follow. But remember, you can remember like the uh, steps, like resources will come first, then the trigger will come, then stages will come, then jobs. Inside the job, you will be having a job. Then how will you run the job? So for running the job, you need some compute. So compute, who will provide the compute? Agent will provide the compute. Okay, what kind of agent depends on you. Do you want to use self-hosted agent or you want to use Azure agent? If you are using an Azure agent, simply provide the VM. Okay, VM image. Suppose here we are calling Ubuntu latest. That is the VM image. So Azure will run this image only in their agent. Otherwise, if you are using your own agent, just name the agent. Like we are using a self-hosted agent pool, and inside that we have this machine we are using. Like that, you can name. After this, then comes the steps. Steps. Under the steps, we have task. Task. Or if you do not want to add like this, simple thing you can do, show assistant. So from assistant, you can add the task inside these steps. So suppose I want to add a restore task. So here will be like task name, .NET Core. So .NET Core task is there. See, you can see here. Oh, which Zoom I am logged in. It is, okay, this is coding superstar only. I think they have not upgraded the. Okay. Okay, steps. So in the steps, I'll add task. Azure Resource Manager connection doesn't is not necessary in this build task. Command, restore command, restore command. Path to the project, you can take like while character dot sln. Name can be any, there will be one solution file. Okay. Arguments, if any. Feeds and authentication. So you can use. We don't have any kind of art feeds in the artifact, so we'll use the same one. And rest, I'll add this anyhow. So you can see there is one .NET Core CLI task added for restore, but there is no display name here. So before input, I'll just add the display name. Display name. Display name can be restore. So this is a restore task. This can be a restore task here. Now for other tasks like build, publish, I can copy, no issues. Okay. So I can copy this one. I can go to next step, paste it. Instead of restore, we will be using build. This is second task. Here, no need of the feed. Since you will not be downloading the artifacts here or packages here, so no need of feed. Then just again paste it for publish. But before that, we will change this restore to build. Since this is a build task, command will also be build. And then we'll come to publish. So again, we'll paste this task, the same task here. And instead of this, it will be a publish task. Publish. So command will be publish here. Publish. And what we are publishing here? So we are publishing the web projects. So instead of projects here, it will be something like under command, we will be using publish web projects. Publish web projects. And that will be true. Value is true. And in the arguments, here we'll keep the arguments for arguments. What arguments will be there? So -o, that means output, and we'll be calling one variable, and this will be predefined variable. So where I want the output in this predefined variable. What is this predefined variable? This predefined variable is build dot artifact staging directory. So this directory is under agent, Azure agent. So I want an output in the arguments. I want an output and I want that published output to be in the build artifact staging directory. And then from here, we will be publishing the build artifacts. Okay. So there will be publish build artifact task. So one more task will be there, and that is publish build artifact. So you can make use of assistant here. Publish build, publish build artifacts. This task you can use. So path to publish will be build artifact staging directory. That is correct. And artifact name will be, suppose, website. Inside website, there will be web.zip. Now you can add. You can select whether you want to keep your artifact in the pipeline itself or you want to keep your artifact in a file share. So sometimes companies do keep artifacts inside the file share as well. So I'll add this. So one more task is added here, that is publish build artifact, and I'm publishing my artifact inside the website folder. Only one thing is missing above input, that is the display name. So I'll add the display name. Display name, publish artifact. Publish artifacts. Okay. And in the ADO, and the name is website. Publish location will remove container. I don't want into a container. If it would have been an AKS or Docker, then it would have been a container. Okay. Only this much. And then comes our next stage here. Now this much stage is our which stage? Build stage.